sports break the mold, chasing the stories yet untold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought, a touchdown mind. Out of the box every time. No limits, no change, no walls to climb. We're rewriting the rules in real time. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. No limits, no chains, no walls to climb. We're rewriting the rules in real time. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. Every shot's a story, every cheer's a spark. Under the lights we make our mark. Beyond the scoreboard, beyond the lines. Out of the box, redefining the grind. The grind. Out of the box where the wild ones play, we see the game in a whole new way.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? It is Thursday night, and it is Thursday Night Football Preview. My name is Paul Spencer on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Make sure you subscribe out there to our social media outlets. Appreciate the kindness if you could do that for us as well. Tonight's show is also being brought to you by 1-800-HURT-123, attorney Jason Fine, Big Al, motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. 3 convenient locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. First, the state of New Jersey. It's going to be in Cherry Hill, 3 Greensboro Lane. Also in Pennsylvania, first in Philadelphia, 1628 JF Boulevard, Suite 2120. And also in Pittsburgh on the west side, 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900. Make sure you reach out to 1-800-HURT-123, attorney Jason Fine. Make sure you mention the word Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, and you'll get that kind discount, the family discount of 33 1/3%. No recovery, no fee. And once again, Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, the magical words will get you 33 1/3%. Guaranteed, no recovery, no fee. Also, here's our schedule on Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. We have something for everybody. Monday through Sunday, we got you covered. Over 20 shows per week and more to come soon. Make sure you subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Also, we do have an account on Instagram and TikTok. So make sure you reach out to Out of the Box Sports Entertainment on all social media and make sure you subscribe. All right, guys, my name is Paul Spencer, and it is time to talk Thursday Night Preview. I'm going to lead you up to the kickoff. So tonight, it's 2 teams that I really don't like. I don't like Green Bay due to reasons. If you see the hat, the guy right there, number 11 on my jersey there, he's gone. So you know what? Hey, I have no skin in the game. Commanders, my division, could care less about this game, but let's talk about it 100% because I'm a fan of the NFL. So tonight, let's go over some inactives real quick. Look at the roster for the Washington Commanders. I'm so used to saying Redskins, I'm going to say it. But the Commanders, looking at their inactive tonight, they really don't have a lot of inactives tonight. Trent Scott, their backup right tackle, is going to be inactive. Also, George Fant, left tackle backup, is going to be out. Lucas Niang is on the IR. Sam Cosmi is out as well. So, on the defense side of the ball, there really is no inactive on the defense side of the ball. You're looking at the third middle linebacker, Kaim Medrano and Ilea Kao are going to be out for the Commanders, going to the Green Bay Packers. This is where it gets interesting tonight, guys. Green Bay does have some inactives on their roster tonight. 2 offensive linemen starting are going to be out. Left guard is going to be Aaron Banks. He is going to be out of the game as well. Their right tackle, Zach Tom, is going to be out as well. That's kind of a sticky grounds when you're playing a big game like tonight. Also, you're looking at 2 people being on the IR. Jacob Monk and Travis Glover is going to be out. John Williams, their third rotation Defensive right left tackle is going to be out as well. Christian Watson is a scratch as well tonight. He's one of the wide receivers. Ben Sims, tight end, fourth tight end, and John Williams, their fourth left tackle, as I said, is going to be out as well. On the defensive side of the ball, no really inactives on a starting unit. Their backups, strong safety Zane Anderson is going to be out tonight. Brendan Cox is on junior IR. So that is your inactives tonight. Not a lot of game situation inactives, except for the Green Bay Packers are missing two offensive starting linemen tonight, which could play into the hands of that front seven of the Commanders defense. But tonight we're going to talk about the game in general here, X and O's here, what I feel. Now this is all my predictions, of course, and my opinions as well. Reach out to me and tell me how you feel based on my instincts of what I'm seeing tonight. Well, let's start off with the Commanders offense here. Jaden Daniels, we know what his this year is a sophomore presence. Played great last year, led them to the promised land last year. Ran into a tough team known as the Philadelphia Eagles. Couldn't surpass them, but there's a thing called sophomore slump, and I don't see it from this kid at all. This kid just has the ice in his veins, the mentality level. Nothing basically fades him. He could be down 40 points. You're not even going to know by the look of his face. I love Jaden Daniels. I think he is a future quarterback to be all pro. By the way he's playing, I don't want to say Hall of Fame, but this kid could make a nod, later on in the future as something special. Of course, his backup, if he gets hurt, is going to be Marcus Mariota, a journeyman who basically fits the system under, Cliff Kingsbury's offense as well. So the running backs, Austin Eckler, of course, they got rid of Brian Robinson, out to the West Coast, basically out there. So he's gone. But then you have rookie, man. This kid turned heads last week. Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt. This kid is really good. I believe he came in third or fourth last week in the NFL for rushing as a rookie. And that's overall in the NFL when you're talking about Derrick Henry, running backs like that. So I think it's a great punch there. Then you have Jeremy Nichols and Chris Rodriguez as a third and fourth back as well. And Terry McLaurin, of course, we know what he is. He signed his holdout to come back with the Commanders to play. He's a great wide receiver as well. Deebo Samuel is one of their pride free agent acquisitions. The thing is with Deebo, can he stay healthy? What Deebo are we going to get? We know Deebo lines up in multiple positions. Tailback, swing guy, flank, outside receiver, slot guy, motion. We know what he does. Also, Noah Brown is a third wide receiver. He's going to be your slot guy. And we all know Noah Brown from that last year's catch against the Chicago Bears, the Hail Mary to win the game there. Noah Brown is a journeyman, played for numerous teams as well. He's a good third wide receiver. Ageless time, Mr. Zach Ertz at tight end. He'll be starting as well tonight. He looked good last week, good presence for Jaden Daniels, a good security blanket. So I think he'll be great as well out there. I like this offense. Their weapons out there. They do have some very peculiar weapons, very strong weapons as well. And it fits Jaden Daniels' his mentality. He's not a progression guy. He reads his progression, looks downfield, and finds the right receivers. The only question is, will he be able to run the ball tonight, which we'll get into with the Green Bay Packers defense. Larry Tunsil, man, big acquisition coming over from the Texans last year. Brandon Coleman's going to be starting. Tyler Baez from the Dallas Cowboys in his second year with the Commanders. Nick Algoretti and Josh Connolly Jr. Now, the main concern here, if Larry Tunsil, God forbid, it goes down with an injury, you're looking at no really backup left tackle here. You're looking at George Fant, who's definitely out, and Lucas Niang is on the IR. So that is a very low, limited depth chart for the left tackle there. Right tackle, same situation. We got to go over to Josh Connolly Jr., who is starting tonight, and Trent Scott is out. There is no third or fourth basic position player to fill that role there. So barring injuries, they're going to be very limited there as well. Now, Andrew Wiley could kick out from guard to play left tackle. Ben Sinnott can actually, he's going to be playing tight end. They said they're going to be using him a lot, and John Bates to give him an extra side if something does happen to go down with either a Tunsil or a Josh Connolly. They did say Chris Paul could possibly kick out to left tackle if needed to be, if in an emergency situation. Now, based on their Commanders offense, I do like their offense. Last week, they showed a glimpse that Jaden Daniels is not going to get pressured that much. He's very, very quick to run out of the pocket. He looks upfield. He can climb the pocket. He can get outside. He does have his legs, of course, which we know. So this offense is a high-powered offense when it's even when it's struggle with Jaden Daniels, if he struggles, he still can get out of the pocket with his legs. But the best thing for this offensive line, if they can hold up to give Jaden Daniels time, Jaden Daniels could go off. I mean, this this game here. He can go off in any game. He has the arm talent, the strength talent, the IQ level to find any wide receiver downfield, and he has the arm strength to get any window that he can see and get the ball to that window as well. We have a comment real quick. Joe Sullivan tonight says, I like the Pack tonight. Joe, what's your score tonight? I actually like the Pack as well. I'll give you my prediction at the end of the show here, but I do like the Pack as well. The only thing that scares me, Joe, is they have two offensive linemen out tonight as well. Their left, excuse me, their left guard and their right tackle is going to be out. Aaron Banks is out and Zach Thomas out as well. That's kind of a little scare there as well on the offensive line. But Cowboys Weekly checking in. So let's go. Time for some Thursday night football. Thank you for checking in, Cowboys Weekly. Appreciate it. That's one of our shows out of the box there. And also you can check Joe out every Monday night on the Sully Squad, 6 p.m. on our network as well. Talking to all those Philadelphia sports out there. They got a big one coming up as well on Sunday. Chiefs, Eagles, rematch of the Super Bowl. So make sure you check out that Monday night to hear about that. Hopefully an Eagles loss, but it's probably not going to happen, honestly. But listen to them. They'll tell you what the hell happened and how it happened. So let me know your score, Joe, if you're still watching this. But yeah, let's get into the Packers defense here real quick. Listen, they are loaded, man. They are loaded. Of course, with the acquisition of Micah Parsons, off the edge there. You already got a book in. You got Rashawn Gary on the other side there. I thought Dallas would probably get one of those guys back there, maybe a Luke Van Ness probably, or a Rashawn Gary was my big hope, but that didn't happen. We got Kenny Clark. I'm very happy about that. That's just icing on the cake for us as well. But Rashawn Gary on the edge, then you got Colby Wooden in the middle there, Devontae White, I'm sorry, and there Micah Parsons as well. Your outside linebackers, man, I love Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M. I thought he was a big acquisition 2 years ago in the draft. Quake Walker and Isaiah Duffy, those guys are your front seven there. I like the wide side linebacker Edgerrin Cooper. I think he is a solid linebacker who can go northeast, west, south. This guy is a ball hawk. He's a strong physical runner, stopping the run in the middle there. So I like Edgerrin Cooper. I think he's going to be a playmaker tonight. I think he's going to get a lot of action inside. All your corners are going to be Kelson Nixon and also Carrington Valentine. This is where it gets a little interesting for me. I think that if Jaden Daniels has that time in the pocket, this is where I think he can suffice the game tonight to win the game against those corners there. Nixon and Valentine, I've seen a lot of them play, but they don't mandate the 1-2 elite corners in the league right now. So I feel that the Packers have the limited value there at corner. Their safeties, Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney. McKinney is a all-pro player. He's a journeyman that's been around the league for a while now. So I feel that the safety is going to have to help up the corners out as well in Valentine and Nixon tonight. But, looking at those there, I just want to go over the defensive side of the ball versus the offensive side of the ball for both teams here as well. Starting with the Commanders here, they run a 4-3 defense, and this front seven is really nasty. I mean, they can get at you at any time. A lot of people, in my eyes, they're probably top 5 on paper, the way they look in the front seven. You got left end Dorian Armstrong coming from the Cowboys, very cool with him. Deron Payne, another nasty guy. Javon Kinlaw is one of their prized possessions this year. And Dietrich Wise Jr., he's a solid defensive end as well. Linebackers, man, this is where it gets even better. Frankie Louvu, Bobby Wagner, Von Miller. The only question mark to these guys right here, Bobby Wagner is a fountain of youth. He can find it any game. He's still a veteran who can give you 100 tackles per year. Love that. Frankie Louva is just one of those up-and-coming battlers at linebacker. He is going to be an all-pro, which he was last year. I feel that he's going to be the same way this year. He is one of those presence in the middle. The weak side of that is Von Miller, coming over from Baltimore, where he played, a couple years in Kansas City out there. Denver. He doesn't look the greatest, asset out there. Which one are we going to get? That Von Miller could be the outside guy where you're going to attack that outside ball there. He can't really cover the slot wide receiver or a tight end. He can chip them, but he's not going to have the presence to get out there and cover, like a Zach Ertz coming out of the pocket there. The corners tonight are going to be Trey Amos and also LaShawn Lattimore. LaShawn Lattimore, we know he got, traded over last year, came over injured, started a couple games, didn't really look like the way he should as a pick that they had up, a trade up. But I think Lattimore is going to be the key guy because they're definitely going to need him on the side of the ball. Going against these Packers wide receivers tonight, which we'll get into. Lattimore has to play up front. I think they're going to be playing a lot of man-on-man, but I really want to see how those safeties come down and help out the corners tonight as well, because the Packers are loaded as well. Um, like I said, there is no inactives on the Commanders roster tonight on that side of the ball. They do go very deep there. It is going to be the third and fourth linebacker that are out tonight. Other than that, nobody's out for the Commanders tonight. Going over to the Packers offense, this is a very high-powered offense. This year we always talk about the Packers don't go out and get a wide receiver in a draft at all. First two rounds. This year they got one. They got Christian Watson a couple years ago. Now he is out, of course, he's out. But then you look at Jordan Love, and I believe it's his fourth year here. Backup is Malik Willis out of Liberty. Josh Jacobs, you can't really talk about much of him except being excellent. Josh Jacobs is a banger. He shows it every week, coming over from the Raiders in a big last season that he had there, got traded, came over to the Green Bay Packers, and you seen what he did last year, over 1,200 yards on the ground, also in pass catching as well. He is a solidified back there. Chris Brooks is a backup. Emmanuel Wilson coming over from the Niners as well. I like their running back committee. Also, wide receivers, Jalen Reed and Romeo Dobbs. Also, Jalen Reed is a high flyer that can get downfield. I think he's going to be used a lot tonight. The one guy in the slot I think is going to be really high, could be the X factor, is draftee Matthew Golden out of Texas. This kid is a burner. This is something that the Green Bay Packers have really never had on their team. We always remember Davante Adams. He was the speediest guy they had, really, and he was their arms. Matthew Golden is that guy. He is the high flyer that can take the roof off of any team out there, whoever, regardless of who you're playing. I really love this wide receivers here. You have Tucker Kraft at tight end as well. This is the offensive line. Now, this is where it could be the game one tonight. That front seven for the Washington Commanders is elite. Their front seven is good. Linebackers are their strength of the team as well. Rashard Walker at left tackle. Aaron Banks is out tonight. Donovan Jennings will be starting tonight. Elgin Jenkins at center. Sean Ryan at right guard, and also Zach Tom at right tackle. But right tackle will be out tonight. It is going to be backup Carrion Kennard playing tonight. This is where I think the Commanders will excel. That front seven, they are going to be pressuring the left side guard and also the right tackle off the edge there. And, you think about it, it's going to be a huge presence for that front seven. When you look at people like coming off the edge, if Frankie Louvu comes off the edge, Wagner comes off the edge. If you stun a twist with Von Miller, that could be something. And it's going to be on Dietrich Whiteside tonight, which I think there's going to be a lot of stunts and twists out there. Dorian Armstrong does move side to side as well. I feel that he can get a lot of presence out there, especially over a backup of Canary and Kennard. You got Ken Law and Deron Payne on a backup, Devon Jennings out there too for the Green Bay Packers. That I think advantage Commanders as well. But then, you think about the Green Bay Packers backups. They're solidified. I mean, you got Devontae Wicks as well. Christian Watson, like I said, is out. Sabayan Williams and Malik Help. Tucker Kraft is a good tight end. I feel that he's going to be an X factor as well. I think that Jordan Love, if he's going to look for a security blanket to check down, he's going to be there. We know Josh Jacobs can catch the ball at backfield. Also, you got Luke Musgrave, coming in from Iowa. Those Iowa tight ends are nasty as well. So I feel that he's going to be good. Now, the keys to the game to me, of course, are the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers. Missing two offensive starters tonight, that could be an advantage for the Commanders as well. I feel that the Commanders will hold that advantage on the defensive line. I think they do get pressure all night long on Jordan Love. I'm curious to see how Jordan Love is going to roll out of the pocket to avoid the front seven pressure. I feel that, also with the Commanders defense, they are a veteran presence. We know Von Miller is not going to be that guy that's going to be in coverage. I feel that he's going to be an outside guy just to contain. But, you look at Jordan Love, the key to the thing is he can run the ball too. Doesn't like to run the ball. He's a very smart IQ quarterback that looks what the defense gives you, and he takes the run if it needs to be. But who's going to be the spy just in case Jordan Love gets out of the pocket? Frankie Louvu, possibly Bobby Wagner. We know he's older, but he is that speed guy as well. If that does happen, will he be fast enough to cover Jordan Love? I do believe he will. But the big asset to me is that front seven on this offensive line. If they get pressure, it could, take away a wide receiver because you're going to have to use a 12 personnel, especially being on the outside line there of Zach Tom, where Kennard is going to play as a backup. So if that happens, you're most likely going to be looking at Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft being a 12 personnel, 13 personnel on the right side. I feel the left side will be okay with Rashad Walker out there, but I think the right side is going to be, the under rule of where the pressure is going to come on the right side there. So I give the advantage to the Commanders 100% on the defense side of the ball, front seven. Well, how I feel the Packers can win this game, I think Josh Jacobs is going to have to solidify the run, regardless of who's playing in the middle. I mean, like I said, you have some big boys on the Commanders' defensive line, but we looked at last week. We didn't think, just looking at the Cowboys game, Javonte Williams, a good running back, but how was the offensive line holding up against a elite defense like the Philadelphia Eagles? Run the ball, as the coach says. I feel that LaFleur is going to run the ball. I hope he does run the ball, because if it solidifies that, then you can take pressure off the back end. So I think Josh Jacob demands the ball first and foremost. Then you can open up more plays for Jalen Reed, Matthew Golden, and Romeo Dobbs. I feel that that's going to be the key game plan of this week here, just going from that situation. But I feel this is going to be a close game, honestly. I mean, both teams are playoff contending teams. We know Washington was in there, one game away. The Green Bay Packers were always in there. They were in a really tough, arguably the toughest division in the NFL last year, with the Detroit Lions and Minnesota Vikings. Both, I believe, at 13-4, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going back to that correctly. But, they were in a tough division. This year, they went out and got, Matthew Golden as well. But I feel this game is going to be won in the trenches tonight. I feel it's going to be a really close game. The only downfall is the Packers having two offensive linemen missing tonight, two starters on the rotation. That does cause a lot of inconvenience with the offensive line. Camaraderie, the verbiage is a little bit different. Scheme is a little bit different. You're next to your brother for an entire OTAs and preseason, and he's not there. It goes a long way. Not even missing one, but you're missing two tonight. But I feel my players of the game tonight. Honestly, I'll give you a couple players of the game tonight. I think it's going to be, to me, on the Commander side of the ball and the offense side of the ball, I don't think it's going to be a running back that's going to suffice me. I think it's going to be Eckler and Merritt as well, as a tag team committee there. McLaurin is going to get some looks. I feel that against this Green Bay Packers corners with the safeties coming down, I think it's not going to be one. I think it's going to be a committee. But I think tonight I'm going to see a lot of Debo, because I think Debo, the best way to play a defense that's elite front seven up there, is a lot of motion, a lot of window dressing. And I think with Debo Samuels, going back to the Shanahan days over in San Francisco, I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Cliff Kingsbury does like motion on about 90% of his plays. So I feel about putting Debo in motion, putting him in multiple positions, slot, back, flank, X, tight end spot coming off the ball as well. I think that's what we're going to see. I think Debo gets a little bit of extra yards tonight. I think he's going to go for, I'm going to probably say about 8 for about, I'm going to say about 92 yards, roughly 90 yards, maybe a TD here. I do think, honestly, that the backs get in there. I think it's going to be probably Merritt, because they've been using Merritt over Eckler a lot since last week. I think this Washington Commanders will have probably 2 field goals as well. I do. I don't know. I don't know how many field goals they're going to get, because red zone is very committable here. You think about it, and you look at the red zone offense. I mean, they have Zach Ertz, who is a veteran there. He knows how to find the red zone and get into in the end zone as well. So I feel that they're going to score. I'll give you my score for the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to hit about 26 points tonight. So let's see if I can have the Packers solidified 26 points tonight. The keys to the game are Josh Jacobs. He's got to get the run going tonight. We know what he can do. He's a 1,200-yard back every year, basically. The biggest season was coming off the Raiders. I feel that Josh Jacobs has to establish the run tonight. If he can, Chris Brooks is a good running back as well. Emmanuel Wilson. I don't think it's committed by the Green Bay Packers. I think they stick with Josh Jacobs. The key to the game to me is that slot guy there against the Commanders defense, because like I said, you're going to have, Amos out there, and you're going to have Lattimore. Lattimore, I don't know what he is. If he's a little bit banged up still, he's not, the fastest guy out there when you're dealing with the wide receivers that they have, Jalen Reed, Golden, and Dobbs for the Green Bay Packers. But I think that Will Harris and Quan Martin will come down and play on that side of the ball in a slot position to help out. But Mike, I can't even say his last name, Sinetri or something like that. He is the nickel back. I think it's going to be picked on a lot, because that is going to be Matthew Golden's spot. He is a high flyer, very fast guy out there. So Mike Santorini is going to have his hands full tonight. But to me, Josh Jacobs has to establish the run tonight. Jordan Love needs to just call the game properly, take what the defense gives you. And if he can get past that second level with some timing passes over the linebackers, between 10 and 15 yards, I feel that they win the game as not big time, but I'm going to say probably about 6-7 points, if that. Jalen Reed is going to find a double team tonight. Dobbs hasn't been Romeo Dobbs of the past, but I think it's going to be Jalen Reed and Matthew Golden as the X factor. Tucker Kraft, I do believe, finds the end zone tonight, possibly. The only downfall is Tucker Kraft not being available, not playing wise, but running in a 12 personnel, maybe 13 personnel, because they are down 2 offensive linemen, especially the right tackle side. We might see a lot of Luke Musgrave, which takes away another wide receiver. Then you're going to be taking Matthew Golden now, most likely running Dobbs in a read out there with 12 personnel being Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave. But I feel the Commanders actually scored 26. And I feel the Packers are actually going to win this game tonight. I feel the Packers win this game. My prediction for this game is going to be Green Bay 31, Washington 26 tonight. Jordan Love, I think he throws for 2. Josh Jacobs gets in the end zone for 1. And I think they are going to find the way, even in 12 personnel or 13 personnel, to get a touchdown to Tucker Kraft. So I feel it's going to be a 31-26 victory for the Washington Commanders tonight. That is just my take of the game. Listen, if you guys are out there, I'll be back on tonight about 30 minutes after the game to give you my thoughts of the game. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Real quick, guys, once again, here's our schedule for the rest of the week. And check us out Monday through Sunday. We have something for everybody. Also, here is Jason Fine, one of our sponsors as well. Make sure you reach out to Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123. Also, guys, listen, out of the box, we do have a Facebook page. This is just our season standings from last week. We did put a new post out there this week for our host to pick all the games. Congratulations to Eddie and Michael for finishing first place. We got a tie at second place for 8 points. And third place was Stacy with 6, who came in. Not nobody's out of this race, but check out Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter for all of our picks out there as well. Guys, I will be back 30 minutes after the game tonight to recap what we see. Appreciate everybody checking in, and we'll be back tonight right around, I'm probably going to say 11:30-ish, right around that area. So until then, have a good night and enjoy the Thursday night game.
Game strong, let's break the mold. Chasing the stories yet unfold. Passion ignites like a blazing fire. Knowledge takes us higher, higher. Out of the box where the wild ones play. We see the game in a whole new way. Living loud, hearts in motion. Sports with soul, pure devotion. The field's alive with endless dreams. We're more than stats, we're the in-between. A slam dunk thought, a touchdown mind. Out of the box every time.